Greetings. Tonight I am coming with a real serious message to speak to a lot of people who definitely need to hear this message that the Lord has put into my spirit to speak upon. This may be for you. This may be for someone you know of. This video is for a lot of people in the body of Christ who are believers. But there's more I need to say. There's many that are believers. And some of these believers are on idol. There's a lot of believers who say they walk in faith, believe the Lord, is currently in idol mode. And I'm going to explain to you what exactly do I mean by being in idol. But before I go any further into that, I want to say this. You ever heard of somebody who say, I just don't feel God's presence anymore. I used to pray, but I don't pray like how I used to. I used to study the word. I don't have the desire. I just can't do nothing. This video is for you. If you find it, this is for you. And if you know of somebody like this that I'm talking about, please pass this video on over to them because they need to hear this. Those people that I've just mentioned, their spirit is in idol mode. Now, I'm going to educate you so that you'll understand what do I mean by idol. Idol means not active, not working, or doing nothing. You see, a lot of these people that I'm talking about who feels this way, who can't pray like they used to, they can't worship like how they used to, they can't do anything in the relationship that they have with God like they used to. They feel that they can't do it no more. They have positioned themselves in idol mode. And you want to know exactly how did they get in idol mode? I'm going to tell you how a lot of these people got in idol mode. They got in idol mode by opening the door to the enemy, give him access to position them to be entertained by something that was of a lie that they became tricked by, to position them and their spirit to be set in the idol mode. They've opened the door to something that had positioned their spirit to be in idol mode. And when an individual is in idol mode, of course, that means that they become comfortable. They chilling, they resting, they not doing nothing of the will of God, not looking to know nothing about God, don't want to hear prayer, can't pray. They're just all into one area that they need not to be in, and that's being entertained by what the enemy has brought to them to keep them in idol mode from doing what they're supposed to be doing. They don't have the fire because the fire is weakened. And when an individual gets in idol mode, that's spiritually dangerous. And I am going to tell you how that is spiritually dangerous when one is in idol mode. That means that your spirit man becomes weakened. That means that you no longer have the strong fire that you're supposed to carry because you've positioned yourself to get in idol mode. You're just sitting there. There's no elevation. There's no spiritual elevation. When this is a continuous thing, this is ongoing. There's no way for an individual who is a believer to be fixed or to be positioned to be in idol mode. That's the exact reason why a lot of people say, oh, I don't feel God's presence no more. I don't feel that God is hearing me anymore. What door did you open? What is it that you gave access to hinder you in your walk, to position you to be on idol mode? I need you to examine everything that's going on in your life at this very moment that has positioned your spirit to be on idol mode. Now, it makes no sense for a real believer to allow their spirit man to be in idol mode. We should be aware of knowing what's of God and what's not of God. We must be aware of the enemy's tactics when he's trying to plot against us to try to get us spiritually weakened, or to position one to be in idle mode based on this conversation that we're having right now that you're listening to. So for those of you who are like this, figure out in the spirit, what is it that has positioned you to be in idle mode? Because if you continue to be in idle mode in the spirit, guess what happens? You become spiritually weakened. You lose the drive, you lose the zeal, you lose the passion. You become spiritually weakened to the point you will become spiritually disconnected. And that you don't want. So I'm here to remind you, check around, analyze what's going on. Because that makes no sense for you to be in spiritual idle. You need to auto in and keep going on this journey. Yes, the enemy has his assignments. We know this already, but we got to continue to be about our Father's business too. And we must continue to be watchmen. We have to continue to discern what's coming in, what's coming around us. Because everything comes in ain't always easy. It ain't always nice. It ain't always pretty. Some things come in to try to set us up. But we have to use spiritual wisdom to realize what's coming in to try to be a spiritual distraction that may attempt to put us in position to be on idle. We're not here to be on idle by the enemy for no one. We got to continue to do what we do. Let's get to it.